was fired this month. Yeah, all of our fluids need to be checked today, by the way. They all need to be done. Yeah, I do. Yep, I do if I need to add them. I can't run another bottle of coolant in the apartment. If I need to add that, I can. I have it here with me in case I need it, so. Yeah, I rode with him. Yeah, he did great. Yeah, he kept it below the speed limit. And yeah, well, the problem is with that is, yeah, you need to be willing to look at my side a little bit more too, because they, yeah, well, I wouldn't say that they're lying. I don't accuse people unless I have a fact back. Well, now we can't because YouTube actually deletes videos after about a year or two. They delete them. So they don't let them stay up there forever. They automatically delete videos after about a year, maybe 2 years. So those have been deleted. Yeah, by YouTube. They weren't deleted by me. They're automatically deleted after a certain amount of time by YouTube. I think it's like a year-ish, give or take a little bit. It's actually pretty wet out here, so yeah, I think we're good there. That's CSO Valley, the Valley PD. They are, because City of Spokane Valley has a contract with the sheriff's department. So yeah, they contract for the sheriff's department. They don't have their own dedicated police force. They contract with the sheriff's department to provide law enforcement. So they do Spokane Valley PD, but they're actually deputy sheriffs. I still have it, actually, yeah. I still have it, yeah, it's still working fine. I still have that, it's working pretty good. So, and I keep it as a backup when I do that. I do keep it as a backup.